So
This
listen to the recording.
conference will now be recorded.
27 June. Okay, what we have done till now is basically due to the request from people. Okay, process domain is a little difficult. Okay, this is where you can fail the exam. I'm just trying to recap. Sorry, okay, because I didn't start the recording. So process domain is a little difficult. Okay, so what we want to do here is, okay, we want to ensure that we don't miss out anything. Okay, so here also we are taking the most important things and change management, quality compliance. Okay, risk issues. Okay, we are taking today. So and then we'll take procurement as well. Okay, then close project. Okay, something like this, and we want to take scope schedule cost as well. Okay? So one session will take scope schedule cost, right? So this is how you have to cover. Okay, so the idea is what horizontally you want to cover quickly. Okay, because there are so many topics. Okay, 10 topics are there in this, so we cannot just spend more time. So we have to quickly cover it. That's what the idea is. So today we'll talk about risk. Okay, and issues. Okay, so now quickly, first of all, what is the risk and what is the issue? Okay, risk is a future uncertainty, right? Risk is what? A future uncertainty. Okay, future uncertainty. For example, anything which is going to, for example, now potentially derail the project. Okay, so that means, say, for example, um, there is a risk from the vendor. Okay, that vendor might delay the delivery. Okay, what is that? That's called a risk. Okay, so what you'll do if you have a risk like this? Okay, you identify this risk. So you basically what? First of all, what you do is basically you set, okay, what is a risk for you? What is the risk for that? That depends on what tolerance, attitude, right? We have understood that. Okay, yeah. So and yeah, tolerance, okay, attitude. Okay, so basically what is the tolerance of the company? Okay, so for example, if it is more than 5 days delay, okay, it's not going to be tolerated. So that is called anything which is going to derail the project by more than 5 days. Okay, it's a risk for me. If the vendor is saying, okay, that my deliveries is going to get delayed and my project, okay, is going to get delayed more than 5 days, what you'll do to identify it's a risk? How? Because you have defined the risk as, okay, anything which is going to go beyond 5 days is a risk. Okay, so risk is basically what? Anything which is going to impact the project, okay, derail the project in terms of schedule, in terms of cost, right? Somebody saying, okay, so again, vendor is saying, okay, the raw material cost can go high. Okay, now it is going to affect your budgeting, whatever you have budgeted. Okay, now because of the vendor cost going high, the budget is also going high, right? So that is a risk for the project. So what you have to do, we want to proactively manage the risk. We want to proactively manage the risk. Okay, so risk is what? A future uncertainty. Future uncertainty. Okay, that event can, okay, if it happens. Okay, so that future uncertainty may or may not happen because it's uncertainty, right? But if it happens, it's going to affect your project. Okay, when we say affect your project means what? So that the future uncertainty is going to affect your project. Okay, so the examples we discussed in our sessions are, say I had a very critical, okay, and there's real examples. Okay, I had a very critical person in my team who was like an architect for my project. Okay, he was like, you can say, he was the soul of the team. If he resigns, okay, what will happen? My project is definitely going to get impacted because the kind of knowledge he has, okay, so the kind of information, okay, all this. So there's a lot of dependency. So now, if the person resigns, okay, my project will basically get delay in the schedule. So what do you think? Is it a risk? So key resource, key resource. Okay, may resign. What is the uh, keywords here? Okay, first of all, in future. Okay, may or may not resign. Okay, so it's uncertainty. Does it qualify for a risk? Definitely. Okay, risk is future uncertainty that is going to affect your project. I have another junior developer who has just come to my team. Okay, even if he resigns, no problem. Okay, it's not going to affect my project. So is it a risk? The junior resource, okay, resigning is not a risk. Key resource resigning is a risk. Why? Because it's going to impact my project. Everyone clear? Just give me a thumbs up. Right? Clear? So any event, future event, okay, which may derail my project. Okay, I'm talking about negative risk now. There are positive risks also. Okay, so anything which is going to derail my project. Okay, so basically I will have to manage that. Okay, negatives. I cannot say, oh, this person resigned. I don't know. Okay, I was not expecting this person to resign, and now he has resigned. And project is getting delayed. Will the management accept that? No. You have to basically proactively manage this negative risk. Okay, negative risks are called threats. Okay, these threats have to manage. Okay, what you have to do, you are trying to minimize the negative threats. Okay, minimize the negative threats. That is the whole idea. Correct? Minimize the negative threats. Correct? So first of all, okay, as we discussed, we define what is a risk for us. Okay, because based on the tolerance. Okay, so if the tolerance is, say, for example, anything which is going to impact my project is going to, say, for example, it's a 3 months project. Now 5 days delay is a big delay for me. Okay, so anything which is going to derail my project, okay, so that is called a risk for me. So this is, so now this person may resign. Okay, it's basically a risk for me, right? So what I do, I identify the risk and basically put them into the risk register, right? And then I evaluate the risk. Okay, that is qualitatively, low, medium, high. Okay, qualitatively. So is it a big who decides it? Again, that scale you can put in the risk management plan. So plan risk means what? Okay, risk management plan. Risk management plan. Okay, so this is your plan risk. Okay, so as I discussed, okay, there's an acronym called PEAR. Okay, what is PEAR? PEAR is P stands for plan risk. Okay, where you decide what is the risk for you. Okay, and how would you do this risk management activity? That's all coming under the risk management plan. Right? Identifying the risk, put them into the risk register. Okay, now you may have a long list of risks. Long list of risks. So whenever you have a long list, okay, what do you do? Long list of issues, long list of risks, long list of requirements. What do you do? You what you do? You whenever you have a long list, what you do? Can you do randomly long list?
Prioritize the list.
Prioritizing.
Prioritize. Prioritizing. Always remember this. Okay, in your life also, we are trying to do so many things. Okay, so first of all, we have to have a goal. Okay, what we are trying to achieve. So that goal is kind of a risk management. How do you want to manage the project? Based on that, you'll try to prioritize the list. Okay, prioritize the list of risks from the risk register. Okay, yeah. So how do you prioritize now? Okay, so again, as we discussed. Okay, so if I define the risk, okay, risk is generally what? Okay, we say it is a multiplication or a product of probability and impact. Probability. Okay, probability and impact. Correct, multiplied by impact. Probability multiplied by impact. So what we do is basically we find the probability, we find the impact. Okay, of if you have multiple risks. Say one risk is having a probability of, say, on a scale of 1 to 10, it is having, say, 8. It is also, this is also 8, say 64, right? One like a probability is very low, 0.0001. Okay, as we discussed, okay, driving a bike in Pune, okay, probability 0.0, but impact is very high, but the total is very less, right? 0.001 into 10 also is basically what? 0.00 something. That risk is a low risk, something like that. Okay, in the project, what you have to do is you have to find all the risk and find the probability impact. How do you get this now? You ask the experts. Okay, you have a weekly meeting. Okay, you have to plan that. That is what plan risk is. Okay, when you come to the risk management plan, how would you manage the risks? And okay, so we want to basically have a risk management. So weekly, generally, whenever we send that weekly status report, okay, you will generally have a meeting. Okay, that what are the risks in my project? Okay, you don't want to be surprised. Okay, you will keep identifying the risk. Okay, evaluating the risk. Okay, so you do generally qualitative risk. Okay, because now we want to target where we want to target high risks. Okay, so generally high impacting risks. Okay, or the total multiplication is the score is high. That risk we will take. Right? Yeah. So that's called the scale of risks. Okay, and sometimes you do quantification as well. Okay, quantitative risks. Okay, anyone remembers what is quantitative risk? Any quantitative risk? Okay, you remember decision tree we talked about, correct? That is also one question. Okay, in the latest exams, and you have what quantification Monte Carlo analysis. You remember, like a AI data, like AI, what it does, it basically checks all the data and it gives you something like a probabilistic analysis. You remember? Probabilistic analysis. Why I'm giving this is, again, it has come in the exam. What is a probabilistic analysis? Okay, so for example, whether this project will succeed or not, whether this project will complete in 6 months or not, whether this project will complete in 10 crores or not, these kind of questions I will ask. Okay, probability will give me, let's 6 months over 50% chance. How it is getting is that S curve is there. Okay, yeah, right, yeah. And what is R? Anyone? What is R? What is R? PIER, we talked about plan risk. Okay, P plan risk, I identify risk. Okay, E evaluate risk. R is what?
Response to the
Respond.
prepare a response plan.
Respond to the risk. Okay, this is why we are doing this all this. Okay, otherwise, what is the use of doing all this? You have defined the risk. Oh, you have identified also. You have evaluated also. Like you know, 50 risks are there. Okay, this is the top 5 risks. Okay, you have to have a response, right? You have to have a response, so that whenever the risk happens, okay, so the risk materializes. Okay, risk materializes. Okay, okay, then what you do? You basically now you have a response plan. Who will discuss the response? Who will come up with the response plan? Again, the team discussion. Okay, that responses are there. Where you will update this? Okay, the risk register. So risk register will have everything. Okay, so what is the risk? What is the probability score? Okay, probability impact score. Okay, who has raised this risk? Okay, what is the, like, okay, where, like, where are we expecting this? Okay, you remember? Okay, is this very near or high? That it should give you a good idea about what is this risk. Right? That should give an idea about what is the risk. Correct? Yeah. So this is what we are trying to do in the risk. Okay, so this is what we want to do. So this is the same. These are the questions you can expect in the exam. Okay, so whenever the question is some situation which may potentially, this is the keyword. Okay, what's the keyword? Which may impact a project. Okay? Which potentially can impact a project. That is a we can say that is a qualifier, or that is a hint that okay, this is the risk. Okay, so you put it in the risk register. That's the answer. Right? And then you have also have a risk owner. Okay, you also have a risk owner. For example, okay, now let's understand. Okay, so let's take an example. Okay, here, and quickly then we'll go to the questions. This key resource, the technical architect may resign in future. Okay? Resign like future in the sense like in the 6 months project. In this 6 months, after 6 months, whatever it was, I'm not very concerned. In this 6 months only, because my project is going to happen. Okay, I'm basically what it is going to impact my project. Fine. So now, what should I do? First of all, I'll put them into the risk register because this is a risk, correct? So now tell me, okay, what should we do next? I have to prioritize. Okay, obviously, as I told, okay, this person is very critical, so he'll come at the high. Okay, so yeah, quantitative sometimes you do, sometimes you don't do. Okay, so only when the risk is, for example, okay, potentially my schedule can go over on 200%, my cost budget can go 200% over, and that we will do quantification. Very few cases, very critical projects. Okay. Also remember, risk management is okay dependent on the type of the and criticality of the project. You don't do all risk management. It's a one week project. I've done 1 week project also, but no time for risk. Okay, so we just did it. Okay, one developer, one small POC we are doing. Okay, that doesn't require risk management. 10,000 crore project, I am a very high risk management project. Okay, so risk management. So risk management also, the rigor of the risk management depends on the type of the project. Fine. Yeah. So now, okay, so let's come back. So now this we have identified the risk. Okay, it is very high risk. Okay, now what you'll do? You will find a response. What will be the responses? Can you give me the responses? You are all project managers. People can resign. Okay, it's a fact. Okay, so even Google people resign. Okay. Now OpenAI, you remember? Okay, you know OpenAI people. Okay, Facebook has offered them $100 million for each person. True fact. Okay, just Google this. 100 million US dollars. Okay, they have offered. So poaching we say, right? So people poach. Okay, this is a fact. People will resign. Okay, because they get a better opportunity, obviously. And this is the biggest problem for a startup, especially for AI startup. I get a person for 2 lakhs. Okay, suddenly he'll get an offer of 10 lakh per month. So that is the problem we face. Okay, so this is a fact. Okay, so this can happen. So what is now? You tell me what is the response? You're all project managers, entrepreneurs. Okay, what is the response to this? A person can resign. Key person can resign. Yeah.
Creating a backup.
Okay, creating a backup. Very good. Okay, so these are the responses for what we are doing now. Responses for okay. Responses for okay this person. Okay, so this
Or
key resource may
removal of
resign in future.
dependency.
How do you remove the
Removal of
dependency?
dependency.
How do you remove the
Creating
dependency?
once again distribution of the work and then the creation of backups.
Yeah, cross-functional team, right? So cross-functional, that is why, okay, by the spirit of the team, we should not depend on Virat Kohli or Sachin Tendulkar, okay? So even they leave, okay, I would say they make a fall sick, okay? It's not always resigning, okay? It may fall sick as well, right? Some other like maternity leave, okay, or some health issues. Anything can happen for this key resource. Not always resigning, okay? So you should have a cross-functional team. You should create a shadow resource, correct? Shadowing backup resource, we say, okay, pair programming, okay? That is why we are all working on this, correct? Yeah. Anything else, everyone? I will also tell my HR team or the recruitment team, okay, that okay, well, I will need this kind of people. So continuous recruitment, they are also filtering the resumes, okay, they're offering they're sending, they're doing interviews and all, okay, they are also getting ready. So then whenever I give a green signal, they will onboard that person, right? Yeah, like this. Okay, that's what we do, right? Yeah, this should all. This is what project management. You should. This is 24 hours. This should be going on in your head. If this problem happens, what will I do? For example, I run this society, I run this NGO, I run this company. Okay, that's big family also. What we are continuously doing as a leader, okay, we are always thinking like this. So project manager, what he does, he doesn't know coding. Okay, this is what he does. So I will have to back, for example, okay, budget management. Okay, does my family have the budget? Does my NGO have the budget? Does my company have the budget? Okay, are we taking initiatives? So this is what every 24 hours your mind should basically keep working. Okay, yeah, and you should jot it down, and everyone should know it, right? Everyone clear? Perfect. So this is what we are doing. So okay, so we are running out of time. So this is good review, everyone. So now you know the chapter. Okay, you have the slides as well. Okay, quickly if you want, I can just show you. I'll take you here. Okay, yeah, and the questions. Okay, we'll also understand. Also, we not only negative threats, we also have positive opportunities. Okay, positive opportunities means okay. Say for example, again AI. Okay, so now I'm completely obsessed with AI. Big opportunity, very big opportunity. Correct. Okay, this is an opportunity for lifetime. Okay, so now what we need to do now will if I do AI as a consulting, training, development, okay, will it always work? No, it's a future uncertainty, right? It may or may not work. What is my response here? Threats are negative risk, okay, negative threats I wanted to minimize. Okay, here what I'm trying to do? Maximize. Maximize the opportunities, correct? Maximize the opportunities. Getting it, everyone? How do I maximize the opportunities? I'll put my best people, I will put all my time here, okay? Because this is the positive opportunity. I want to make it happen. I want to make it happen. So negative threats, okay, the responses were okay, ATM, right? You remember ATM? Okay. What are the negative? Okay, so minimize the negative threats. Minimize the negative threats. Okay, what was the minimize the negative threats? Okay, what was the responses? Everyone, A stands for avoid the risk. Correct? Avoid the risk. You want to basically what minimize. Okay, so avoid means completely avoid the project, avoid the feature. Okay, you don't take it, right? Then okay, what transfer? Okay, transfer mechanism. Like insurance. Okay, getting a vendor. You're transferring the risk to the other party. Okay, M stands for anyone? Anyone? So you have to basically what again? You have to come up with this one. Okay, otherwise I can do this night 3 o'clock as well. Okay, you give me whole PMP, I will do it one shot. So this is not a test of me. Okay, you have to come up with some questions, and you need to come up with some prompts like this. Okay, you have to keep saying that yeah, it's good revision for you, right? Okay, A stands for accept. Okay, accepting sometimes you don't need, you cannot do anything. Okay, you have to accept it. So what you'll generally do here, anyone? If you accept the negative threat, what we generally do, you put a contingency reserve. Contingency reserve. Okay, that means okay, I'm not able to now do anything. Okay, so what I will do, I will basically I will basically what put a reserve. For example, okay, this person is resigning. Okay, I cannot do much. Okay, so I will have to have basically what I will have to have that 2 weeks extra. Put this 2 weeks extra. Where you'll put this in the schedule. I will have to have, say, for example, say 100,000 extra. Okay, because this onboarding a new person will take some extra money to train him also. Where I'll put this. Okay, this I will update in the budget. Right? Yeah. So now tell me, okay, if ATM is the minimizing the negative rates, what is maximizing the positive opportunities? Maximizing the positive opportunities. How do you maximize the positive opportunities? You can open the student manual as well. Okay, this is a good opportunity. Okay, yeah. How do you maximize the positive? Exactly opposite. Okay, just remember this ATM. Okay, and exactly opposite. Okay, we are trying to avoid the threat. Okay, but here we are what we are doing. If I want to maximize, okay, I will basically exploit the positive opportunity. That means I will make it happen. Exploit the positive opportunity. Correct. This is what we are trying to do in AI now. Okay, whole 2 years. Okay, if you see, okay, most of our time is in AI only. Okay, I had so many plans for some management things I wanted to do, but I feel AI is the best opportunity. We've started the course as well. It is selling very nice as well. Okay, so 50,000 people are paying. Okay, so people pay the fees of 2 lakh rupees also for this. Okay, people are paying. So obviously it's a big opportunity for us. Okay, so I exploiting the opportunity, right? So T transfer was here. So transfer is pushing to the third party. Here, what we are trying to do is basically what sharing the opportunity. Positive opportunities. Okay, we are sharing the opportunity. So that means joint venture. Okay, with the joint venture. So like IFCO Tokyo, okay, Bajaj Alliance, okay, Maruti Suzuki. What they're doing? Maruti India market presence, Suzuki technical expertise. Join hands. Okay, then basically sharing the opportunity, right? Mitigating was reducing the probability impact. What is mitigate? Sorry, here I didn't talk about. Okay, reducing. Okay, how do you reduce the risk? Okay, you reduce the either you reduce the probability of happening the risk. Okay, or what you do? Okay, basically you reduce the impact. Okay, how do you reduce the probability of this person resigning? Okay, give a hike. Okay, sign a contract. Okay, give some opportunity. Okay, give some gajar. Okay, that okay, you're going to go US. We used to do this, right? Yeah, what is the impact? How do you reduce the impact? Okay, you reduce the impact. Okay, so we have a cross functional team backup and all. That is how you have reduced the uh, property impact. How do you now how do you share the joint venture? Okay, so like for example, as I said, okay, joint ventures, you are sharing and sharing this. Okay, so sorry. Okay, I've talked about transfer is sharing. Okay, now mitigating means reducing, correct? So how, what is the opposite of this? Here you are enhancing. Okay, you are enhancing. Okay, enhancing the opportunity, correct? Yeah, is the same. Okay, and we have one more called escalate. Okay, escalate. What is escalation? Sometimes okay, it is like a very big threat. Okay, it is like threat to the whole company, threat to the whole program. Program is like set of projects. Then you'll escalate to the senior. Okay, like the program manager. Okay, he will say, okay, the program manager is saying, okay, fine, okay, I will manage it. Then there's no action required from your side. Right? Yeah, perfect. This is enough, everyone. No action required. Okay, this is good revision. Yeah. So quickly, what we'll do now? Quickly, I'll just take you through this. Okay, so risk management. Yeah. I know okay, it's a little less time. Okay, so we have to be quick. Okay, and we have already gone through this. Okay, and we don't want to spend too much time. Okay, so yeah. So what we want to do? Okay, we'll go to this chapter. Uh, so 519. Yeah. So manage. Okay, now this is risk. Okay. you can go here, okay, or basically you can go to my this one, okay, the whole study, the full study guide. Okay? If you go to the full study guide, okay, here if you go to the risk chapter, okay, this is enough for a quick revision. Okay, risk management. So what is risk? So plan risk, okay, peer identify risk, okay, qualitative, quantitative risk responses, and then you implement the risk response in execution and monitor the risk. Okay. Yeah. So productive, okay, what we're doing, okay, starts, okay, throughout the project we're trying to do risk management. Okay? Agile projects, okay, backlogs, sometimes, okay, what we do, we adjust the backlog based on the risk, okay, and we prioritize the storage based on the risk, okay, so like that. Okay. Yeah. Where is the risk? Okay, how do you find the risk? Okay, we didn't talk about much of that. Okay, how do you find the risk? Risk can happen from so many areas. Okay? This can happen from so many areas, correct? So what you do, you can create a format. You can create a format. Okay. Yeah, just a minute. Okay, so let me show you the risk. This one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So if you talk about risk, okay, so risk can happen from so many areas, correct? Just a minute. Okay. Yeah. Risk can happen from so many areas. For example, okay, you can that is what, okay, we talked about. Okay, risk can be from technical side. Okay, so this is technical from the project management technical. Project management technical means, okay, estimation, scheduling, scope definition. Okay, now we understand that's called technical project management. So project management technical means scope, schedule, cost, quality, and all. Management, okay, say portfolio program. Okay, actually project management. Okay, project manager is not good. Okay, this kind of thing, resourcing, okay, and also that we call as management risk. Okay, the commercial risk, okay, external risk, you can define it like this as well. Okay, so this is called as risk breakdown structure. So where the risk is coming from, so you may find some framework, okay, to basically identify the risk. Okay. Yeah, so what we talked about quickly, so we talked about, okay, risk. Okay, first, okay, let me also talk about this before I forget. Okay, so risk is, again, risk is means future. So we just kind of define, okay, the definition difference between, what is the difference between risk and issue. What's the difference? Risk is in future. We proactively kind of envisage this risk can happen. What is my response plan? But now this risk has happened. That means, okay, the person has resigned. What you'll do? So now it's focused on the project. Now you put them into the issue log. Okay, and issue means, okay, negative. I have a issue means, okay, something negative is happening. And the person is resigned is key person resigned is a negative thing. So what I will do? I have a response plan. I will follow the response plan. Correct. I have a response plan, right? Because I had defined the what feature risks are there. Okay, positive, negative. It was negative threat. So I put them into the risk register and I put a response. If the issue, the risk, okay, materialize into an issue, I will do this. Right? I'll put them into the issue log. I will use the risk response plan. Right? Yeah. So now this is a prioritization. Quickly have a look at this. You should have a way, okay, to basically manage the risks. Right? Yeah. And then, okay, so you put the risk register. Okay, and yeah, so issues are this is the issue log. I'll just update it here so that you understand. Yeah, how did you identify the risk? Okay, so basically, how did you define? Okay, so you should, in the risk management plan, ideally you put a scale like this. So you should know now, like people should know what is a low risk, what is a very high risk. Okay, very high probability, high impacting. Okay, it's impacting the schedule as well, cost as well, quality as well. So these are the objectives of the project. Main objective of the project is scope, schedule, time, quality. Anything which is impacting that much, that thing, okay, and has a high probability will qualify the high risk. Right? And then basically we'll have a risk management approach, okay, and then we have defined the tolerance, okay, beyond this. So tolerance we should understand, as we discussed, okay, risk is not everything is risky. It depends upon the stakeholders perceive. Okay, how do they perceive this situation? For example, okay, say for example, okay, a company, a customer who's having a very critical timeline. Okay, but even one day, okay, is basically what is the tolerance is very low on that. One day also delay he'll not accept. But somebody is like internal development. Okay, OpenAI took 5 years to build this product. Okay, because now they had time, but they wanted to focus on quality and the impact. Okay, so depending on, so stakeholders attitude, okay, appetite, threshold, tolerance, okay, so related terms, depending on that you put as a risk, right? And you come up with a risk management plan. How would you perform the risk management? Okay, and then you classify the risk again, either from a source, okay, or from a how it is going to impact. So for example, you can ask a question to identify the risk. Okay, ask a question. Oh, let me find, okay, what are the risks which will impact my schedule. Oh, person resigning, okay, impact my schedule. What are the things, okay, which can impact my quality? Okay, quality server, it's a risk for me, right? Like that. Okay, I'll do that. Okay, and then I'll put the risk list. So I'll identify the risk, all these ideas again, brainstorming. Okay, so that's what you're facilitating. Always remember, you'll go to the team, generally, or experts. If it's a project management risk, you'll talk to the peer project manager. He is an expert. Okay, technical risk, you'll talk to the team. Okay, that is how you'll do it. Okay, you put them into the risk register. Okay, so general risk register will always have probability impact. Okay, identified risk owner. Okay, impact responses. Okay, date and all. Okay, compliance is also a risk. Okay, so that is why it's related. Okay, yeah, you take a risk, you put it here. Okay, again, case study we have added here. So you put all the risk here, put the probability impact. Okay, risk rating and all, and then basically you start you start prioritizing the risk and basically is this one. So how do you qualitatively prioritize the risk? This way, probability impact. Okay, that is what you do. Fine. Yeah. So just a quick revision. Okay, you can just slow the video. Okay, and then have a look at this. And some qualitatively we look at urgency as well. Sometimes we have seen this question. Urgency means, okay, how, what is the time period? Okay, this, if this risk will get affected. Okay. Yeah. So I have a financial risk. For example, my kids will go to higher studies. Okay, and now I will need funds there. Maybe you can call it as a risk, right? But how will I manage that? Is it urgent? No. Okay, still we have time. Okay, 2 3 years they have, okay, to go to higher studies. Proximity, how period? Okay, it is very near. Okay, low proximity. Okay, dormancy, when we might discover it. Okay, so the period of time between the risk occurring and when we might discover it. So when it is discovered, dormancy. Okay, so like how much dormant can this live? So short period means low dormancy. That means, okay, risk is a kind of risk happens and immediately the effect is going to affect the project. Manageability, how you are able to manage. Okay, how you are able to control. Okay, controllability. So propinquity is how you are basically able to look at it. Okay, that right. Yeah, so yeah, I think so. Yeah, so this is what it is. Okay, so you have this kind of question. We did this answer as well. Okay, yeah. So yeah, qualitative risk analysis, quantitative risk analysis, and then the responses. Okay? Yeah, responses are important. Okay, definitely you can get something on the response. Okay, just give you 1 minute. Okay, just have a look at this. So I will remember. Okay, ATM. Okay, avoid, transfer, mitigate. Okay, accept. ATM. This is exactly opposite. Okay, when you say avoid, you try to exploit. Okay, when you say transfer, you try to share. You try to mitigate, you try to enhance. Okay, accept means accept. Right? Yeah, that's it. Perfect. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Um, yeah. Today, what we'll do? Okay, we'll go to this one. Okay, we'll go to our all questions. Okay, which questions you want to take quickly? Which questions you want to take? All questions, or you want to take the 2025 May questions? Okay. Another thing. Okay, so we are trying to get the new mock. Okay, it should come very soon. Okay, so be prepared. Okay, as soon as it gets, I want people to practice that and book the exam. Okay, so that would be my suggestion. Yeah, let's talk about the risk quickly. Another 8 10 minutes we have. Okay, so find the risk chapter here. Okay, yeah, risk management. Okay, so this is a good feature they have added. Okay, let's see this. Uh, okay, let me take some simpler ones. Okay, then we'll go to the really complicated ones. Just a minute. Yeah, this one is very simple. Let's take something better. Okay, let me go for this one. Okay, the mocks. Okay, the latest mock only. Do you have the mock here? I'll go to the mock only better. Because I want to cover, okay, which very high chances, okay, it will come in your exam. Okay, that is what I'm trying to do. Yeah, I'll take this. Go to the risk chapter. Whenever you want to find in this PDF, okay, this PDF is uploaded. Digital is not available. Okay, that categorized one. Okay, so go to risk management. Okay, say starts. Let me take you here. Right. Yeah. This we have done. Okay, so quick revision. You can do this. This one you will try. Question 110. You didn't answer? Yeah, correct. So what is the question? Okay, the question is, okay, now again, think like you are in the exam. Okay, one tip is, okay, whenever you do this mocks, okay, think like you are in the real exam. When you're doing the mock, okay, think like you're in the real exam. Okay, so in the real exam, what will happen? Okay, you are going to see 180 questions. Okay, you may never know which question is from which topic. Okay, here since we are doing discussing risk today, I have categorized. Okay, that will not be there in the exam. So think that, okay, you're doing a random question. Okay, yeah. So now you'll see, okay, a new project has assigned to a project during implementation. Okay, which is okay. Project manager realized that the new tax policies are creating a risk for cost overrun by 25%. Now your mind is a little confused. Okay, they are talking about tax policies, they're talking about a risk and a cost overrun of 25%. Yeah, cost overrun of 25% definitely is a risk, correct? So a new tax policies, okay, might create a risk of 25. That means, okay, now we are inclining towards the risk. Okay, project manager updated the risk register and kept the project running as normal. Okay, see, when we see, as we discussed, okay, as a PMP project manager, whenever we create a report, okay, whenever we say, somebody asking how is the project doing, I should myself say that, okay, the project is delayed, we have a big risk here, we have issues here, these are the issues, help me to solve the issues. This is what you need to have a report. You need to have a sharing of information, correct? If you say everything is normal, nobody is going to bother, right? So that you should be clear, okay, where you need help from people, what you should highlight. Okay, so we should always used to say, this is a highlight, this is a low light. Okay, highlight means, okay, these are the problems, we need help from you. Lot of challenges, okay, you'll face. So that is what you have to do. Okay, you cannot, what is happening, he is saying it's everything is normal. So now my CEO used to ask me, just Tanveer, give me one pager and you just on the right top give me red or green. Green I will not even look at it. Okay, green, everything is green means fine. Red means, okay, now I will ask a question, where do I need you, where do you need my help, where do you need CEO's help? So if you're saying everything is normal, nobody is looking at it. So here, what is, by mistake, he is feeling it's normal, because now, okay, cost overrun is only 20%. Okay, acceptable cost overrun is 20%. So the company has defined the risk policy that anything going 20% and above is basically risk for you. You cannot, it's not allowed. Schedule also generally 10-15% is allowed. Okay, generally. Okay, again, it's not a standard, but your company, some companies, okay, even 5% is a risk. Some companies 10% overrun is fine. Here, okay, 20%, okay, is fine. Okay, not beyond that. But how much is the cost overrun for this company, for this project? 25%. Means what it's a red flag. It is going beyond the tolerance, correct? Beyond what was marked as a risk, correct? So the manager was quite surprised with this information. Now the CEO is angry. He's saying, we cancel the project. Okay, we are not accepting, okay, cost over by 20%, because the contract might be like that you are making losses. Okay, yeah. So you have to understand the risk tolerance. Okay, risk tolerance, and then you have to say in the report, okay, how this project has to, like, it's a risk. Okay, we are going to get an overrun of 25%, which is 5% beyond. So what is your actionable here? Your actionable is, how do you reduce from 20 to less than 20%? Uday, you getting it? Anupa, you getting it? Yeah. So
Yes, sir.
we
Yes,
are
sir.
getting it. Yeah. So 25% is the risk, okay, but 25%, okay, 20% is what is acceptable. What you will do is, okay, first thing what you will do is, okay, how do you reduce from 25% overrun to 20%? Okay, now tell me what will be the responses here. How do you solve this, okay, problem? Okay, house also when happens now, okay, sometimes we are short of money. We find ways to basically handle it. This is the same thing. Okay, the budget is overshooting. Generally, the budget will overshoot always, right? How will you manage? You will cut down the extra expenses.
Check
Okay,
on
so
the
maybe you
priority.
look at the priority. You may have a consultant who is high, yeah, very high paid resources you might have. Okay, you cut down a lot of things. Okay, like somebody like you're taking a lot of allowances for your resources. Okay, maybe can you cut it down? So you will basically try to reduce this cost overrun from 25% to less than 20%. Getting it? So now, see, this is what we have to understand from the project management processes point of view. How you will do it is basically what depending on the situation and the context. And you are experts, and you also. Lot of again when I run this company, run this NGO, run this society, always you have a budget problem. Always. Okay, everywhere the budget problem is there. Okay, so you have to find a smart way to handle that. So how do you do it? Now, okay, we are very careful. Okay, so now see here. Okay, I'll show you one example. Okay, so I have said that, okay, whenever somebody has to approve a bill, okay, he has to ask me. For example, now this is the secretary. Okay, so can you see for 1500 rupees payment? Okay, if plumber is asking 1500 payment. Okay, I told him no, it's very high. Okay, I have to control. Okay, if he is 1500, okay, why he is not taken for first prior approval? So now can you see? Okay, for everything we basically discuss and decide. So that's how you control our budget. Otherwise, okay, the budget will always overshoot. Fine. Perfect. Let's do a little bit more. This is stakeholders and risk. They have kind of this one. Okay, so let's try this again. Till then, I will try to. Uh,
So उसका आंसर डी
can
था
you
ना पहले वाले का?
Yeah, the answer was D. Sorry, okay. So the answer was D. Ensure that always the company is properly updated. Okay. So now what is happened is he's confused. The project manager is not seen this. The 20% is a red flag. Okay. This is the higher limit, higher tolerance. Beyond this, you cannot go. Right? Yeah. So for my house also, what I will say, okay, whenever you have to approve a bill of more than say 5,000, okay, you have to take my permission. That is how you will control the budget. Correct? Less than 5,000, okay, they will take their own decision like that. Okay, yeah. So it's like, okay, 20% is the like 5,000 is my kind of a approval mechanism, something like that. Okay, good. Okay, so you want to do this question. So let me till then, okay, I'll find a new question. Okay, let me share this one. So this is stakeholder and this one they have merged stakeholder and risk. Okay, quickly. So I'll just share this. Try this question till then. Yeah, till then I'll just find the question. So you have to match the following. Okay, you have to say one A, B, like that. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Okay, this is a little complicated. Okay, but don't worry. Okay, so you can just try. I will help you out. Okay, we'll do it together. Very good. Okay, everyone trying. So I'll just build it together. Okay. So what we're trying to say here is, okay, so you have to in this match the following, what you have to do? What is the tip? The tip is you have to find the most easy keywords, okay, which you can kind of understand. For example, say here options to exclude the stakeholder means what you are trying to avoid, something like this, okay. And analyze if somebody else can contribute. Else means transfer, correct? Yeah, something like this. Let me try
Yeah,
again.
Yeah,
transfer.
we were just trying to reduce the risk.
Address the issue with stakeholder superior. Okay, I will do it. Okay, so I'm quickly doing it. Let me see. So this is escalation, correct? This is escalation,
Mm.
clear. Okay, record the observation means is accept. Okay, just recording and moving and doing nothing means accept, correct? So this is how you will try to see this. Okay, so let's say sorry, this is your accept. Okay, I'll write it here. That's better. Okay. Yeah. So now can you see? So record the option doing nothing means accept. Okay, very very clear. So you have to start with this ideally. So issue with the stakeholder superior as superior means escalate. Correct? Yeah. And then okay, you have to look what is it. So you have to cancel this now. Okay, so escalate is done. Okay, and accept is done. Okay, so this is the remote. Now you have to look at okay. Mitigating, okay, anyways, discuss this on buying. Okay, so what you're doing, discuss with the stakeholder on buying means what? You're trying to mitigate. So you're trying to mitigate, right, the risk. Okay. Yeah, and then okay, you're trying to avoid, exclude the stakeholder means you're trying to avoid. Okay, and you're trying to someone else is transfer, correct? If you are fine, transfer. Can you get? Give me a thumbs up if everyone understood. Shall I do it once more? Yeah.
Yes, sir, understood.
So yeah, everyone every day if you do this much, okay, so 5-10 questions, okay, I think so very easy in the exam. Only that, okay, that much discipline we need. Okay, perfect. We'll take some more. Okay, so let's try this. Yeah, again they are trying to check your deep understanding. Okay, yeah, so this is again so nothing to memorize. Okay, nothing to too much read the books. Okay, whatever we have discussed, even this is enough. Okay, for the exam. Yeah, so what is the question? The question is, okay, so a sponsor is asked, okay, for a trend analysis of all the risk whether the project has monitored over the last 12 months. So last 12 months, okay, where you'll find all the risk, okay, will be in the risk register. Okay, generally we use tools today. Okay, you may have an Excel as well. Okay, you may have generally you'll have tools like Jira, Bugzilla, or some tool. Okay, which is recording all the risks, and risk might have become issues as well. So what you'll find, risk register and issue log. Correct. So D is the best answer. Fine, everyone. Yeah, everyone answered. Yeah, good. Okay, I think everyone answered, right? This was easy one. Okay, let's do a little bit more. Most questions will be something like this. Okay. Uh, yeah, let's do this. Okay, about the plan. So the sponsor is asking, how do you do? Whenever the point says how, okay, where you'll review, what you'll review, you'll try to review plan. How you do quality plan. How do you do risk? Okay, risk plan. How do you do scheduling? Schedule plan. Because plan is made for to answer that question how. Right? So let's do this question, which is 10. What frequency? So risk management generally talks about, okay, like do you do risk management weekly? Okay, like how do you share the report? How do you find the risks? Okay, who is the owner? How do they track the risk? Okay, so you put a process around it in the risk management plan, right? So everyone see, okay, I think so C is very clear, right? Let's try this. So I've highlighted the keyword as well. Okay, what is the keyword? Might turn into a potential issue. So will you put it in the issue log or risk log is the question. If it is in future, it is risk. If it is already happened, it's issue. Now might potentially happen means what?
It's a future prediction.
Future means what? It is
Future,
risk.
future. There's a risk.
Yeah.
Risk.
Future is a risk. Okay, and where it will go? It will go to risk register. Okay? They're trying to confuse you. Okay. So they will get confused. Risk or issue. Okay. Just say potential means it's for future. Future means this. And it may happen. Potentially can happen. Okay. So we'll put in the risk register. Clear, everyone? Easy. Similar question will take. Potential obstacles to future progress. Again, this is a kind of a risk. What you'll do? Identify the risk, prioritize the risk, find solutions, find the risk responses, right? Work towards those responses. Okay, if the risk is becoming real, right? That's the idea. Correct? Everyone answer? Very good. Okay. So everyone understands? So basically what, okay, you this is like a risks, okay. So how do you team raises, okay, several potential obstacles, okay. Obstacles include vendor performance, technical performance, okay, all these are risks, correct? So work with the team, okay, and other in the network and prioritize the obstacles and then also try to find a solution. Remember on day one, everything will not be there. For example, you identify the risk today. Okay, you kind of put the probability impact, risk owner, okay, you try to prioritize as well. Response is okay, slowly you will understand generally. Okay, you not have all the answers. Okay, but eventually you will find the responses as well. But ideally, you want to log it. If you don't log it, you'll miss it, right? So C is the best answer here. Okay. Whenever you have risk, again, just use that peer formula. Okay. You plan the risk. Okay. Identify the risk. Evaluate the risk. Okay. That is prioritizing, responding the risk, and then yeah, and then basically you will take that action response. Right. Let's do this as well. I don't. Yeah. Let's try this. Vendor is basically what showing a likely delay in the schedule. Did you answer? Very good. Okay. See, yeah, let's answer. So what is happening? Vendor is basically showing a likely delay. Okay. So what you'll do? Assess the schedule and update the risk list. Correct. That's what you'll do. Correct. Uh, you basically look at, see again, a risk. This is an event which can happen. Okay, in future. Okay, likely to happen. What is the impact on the project? That is what you have to analyze. See, this vendor might delay, but still you may not get delayed. That's that junior developer has joined. Okay, he may leave also, but no effect on the no risk. So first of all, you have to assess the schedule and update the risk list if it's a risk, right? Uh, okay, let's not do this. It will take time. Okay, we'll try this last for today. So everyone, okay, so quick. If you are just attending every day, okay, but more than attending, okay, you try to practice a little bit before the session and after the session. Okay, maybe before the session, whatever we are doing, quickly revise. 5 minutes is enough. Okay, after the session, 5 minutes is enough. That much if you do, okay, I think so we are good. Okay, and I'm taking out time for this. Okay, every day. So again, okay, don't get it stuck into too much of analysis. Okay, go for the exam. Okay, so once you book the exam, everything will fall into place. So otherwise, we'll never able to get real value out of it. Okay, same for AI also. Okay, so you keep on learning, it will never end. You start to implement it. Okay, then you start understanding. Everyone answering? Got this question? The question is okay. Developing accounting software for our trading firm. Okay, fine. Okay, so we are developing an accounting software. Outcomes are being delivered. A new risk is identified regarding indirect tax regulation that is being changed by the government in the next 6 months. The risk is will have a significant impact on the project outcomes. Okay, so determine the impact of the risk and prioritize outcomes. Okay, so it is saying significant impact. Okay, develop a delay develop the indirect tax model until the tax regulation comes into effect. No, you cannot. You may have to plan proactively. So risk is all about proactive planning. Assess the impact of the risk with an expert and prioritize further outcomes of the client. This is the best answer, right? So how it is going to impact? What are the things we have to do today? Now, okay, the plan. Analyze the impact of the
Sir,
risk
I
and
was
discuss with the
I
team
was confused between A and C.
A and C. Yeah, determine the impact of the risk and prioritize outcomes that do not affect the tax models. So
Hello.
you cannot just ignore it, okay?
No,
Yeah,
sir,
you
sir,
cannot
I got
just
confused between A and C.
A and C. Yeah. So why not A? I'm telling you. So why not A is because here we are saying we're just avoiding the tax model, okay? You cannot. Can you avoid a tax regulation, okay, which is going to impact your project? No, you cannot avoid. Okay, avoiding like you're just trying to look at what is not going to impact the tax model. Okay, what is going to impact that also you have to look at, right? So this is only talking about okay, determine the impact, risk, and prioritize outcomes that do not affect the tax model. So it is saying prioritize things which is not going to affect the tax model. Okay, it's not the best answer, right? What is how it is going to impact? Okay, you have to consider that as well. You have to factor in that. Okay, then you have to plan. Correct. So that is what okay. That is what risk analysis or risk understanding is, right? So A you cannot okay is maybe not so good, right? Determine the impact of the risk and prioritize outcomes, okay, that do not affect the tax model. How can you prioritize that? Okay, so now you have a tax regulation coming up. You have to look at what is going to impact also, right? Getting it? Think about it.
Okay.
Okay. Think about it. Take a screenshot. Think about it. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. So fine, everyone. Okay. So we'll end the session today. I'll upload this. Okay, in this self-paced videos. Self-paced. We have a daily session. Daily session section here. I will upload it here, so you can have a look. Okay, so yeah. So in the self-paced course, I have a daily session section. Okay, under that I will upload. Right. Perfect. See you then, everyone. Okay. So see you tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Okay. Saturday, Sunday we'll take a
Yep.
break. Monday onwards we'll again join. You can suggest me the topics as well. Okay. If you don't suggest, I will go for procurement, closure of the project. Okay. I think so. This one and scope schedule cost one session. So two sessions more for scope. I would say for the process. Then we look at like agile one session, okay, and people one session. Fine.